That's all that, but you gotta walk with me.
Ouchie, man.
Are you on something right now?
I'm not, no, nothing.
Because you acting real erratic.
Man, I'm scared, man.
Let's go.
God,
You got
man.
foam around your mouth, too?
Yes. Yes, I was just whooping earlier.
Relax.
Man, I can't breathe my face. Just get up.
He's gotta be on something.
What do you want?
I can't breathe. Please, the knee in my dick. I can't breathe.
Bro, get up, get in the car, man.
I will.
Get up, get in the car.
I can't move.
I've been waiting the whole
Ah!
Get up, get in the car.
Mama.
Put a weed pipe on him. There might be something else with it. Might be like
I
PCP or
can't.
something.
Come over here. Come over here.
Up on the sidewalk.
Yeah, we need you to keep some distance.
He's not responsive right now. He's not responsive right now. He's not responsive right now. He's not responsive right now, bro. No, bro, look at him. He's not responsive right now, bro.
It still makes no sense, never will make sense. But the full body cam, Court TV fought to have it released. It was released. We played it. We posted on social media. Overwhelming reaction. I mean, this is the third day that we're going through your reaction because it's important. It's important. I mean, how much this case has impacted this nation and our system of justice. So your reaction to all this, very, very significant. Over 13,000 comments. Comment of the day coming from Dolly, who writes, actually, the video has made it more evident that from the get-go, the police did most everything wrong. This man should not have died regardless of his actions. Jeffrey Wolf, I want to ask you, at what point did this go from being a lawful arrest to a crime?
That is a tough question. What I can tell you is that when you watch this body cam, what you see is officers immediately coming up to his window, startling him, and then pulling their guns the second he does not raise both hands to their satisfaction. It is pretty clear that he was showing his hands and he did not have a weapon. The second they pull that gun and point it at him for almost a minute, I think things escalate from there. And he is begging for some mercy. He is begging for some humanity throughout the entire encounter. And he doesn't get it. And not only does he get essentially mugged by four gentlemen trying to put him in a car. I'm not going to call them police officers. They don't deserve it. They essentially mug him to try and get him in this car, force him on the ground. You can see his hand being twisted. You can see Chauvin with his neck on it, or his knee on his neck. And it lasts longer than the police even said it did, we can see from the body cam. It's criminal from start to finish the way this man was treated on the street of an American city for what is an alleged counterfeit $20 bill that they think was passed. They have no information that he knew he passed it. Any of us could open our wallet and find a fraudulent bill at any moment because we don't always know what they look like. And this is the response he gets. And this is his death that comes from it. You hear the officer ask, should we roll him over? Should we move him? He's told no, he's fine the way he is. There isn't really a time when it turns criminal. This is bad police work and criminal action start to finish.
Janet, tonight it shows me that he was uncooperative from the start. However, I think the police are responsible for his death. Brian Watkins, if the jury agrees with Janet that they believe he's uncooperative from the start, what impact could that have on these murder trials?
It shouldn't have any impact because they're using violence against non-violence. Being uncooperative is not violent, and they're using violent behavior, excessive force, to deal with uncooperative behavior, and that's when it becomes a crime. Right when they start to go to the violence, when the violence wasn't necessary. And then once the violence clearly wasn't necessary, you have a man who's laying there not fighting back, being non-responsive, so of course he can't cooperate, he can't do anything. They continue to apply that violence. It continues. That makes the crime above excessive force into a murder, and they should be guilty of murder. They're cowards. You know, I was a bouncer. I dealt with people who were uncooperative all the time. We never killed anyone. I never pulled a gun on anyone. I had no authority. I had a T-shirt on that said security. It wasn't even spelled right, and I dealt with those people, and no one ever got hurt. Those guys were just cowards.
Cordell, tonight, I had to watch this video twice. And guess what? I still can't tell you why he deserved to die. He didn't strike anyone. He didn't have a weapon. He didn't reach for an officer's weapon. He died pleading for his killer to spare his life. Marie, let me ask you something, because this is an important question. The mens rea of the officer, Chauvin, with the knee on the neck, do you believe he was trying to hurt George Floyd or trying to subdue George Floyd?
You know, there's no explanation for this police officer's behavior. The mens rea, the only explanation for his mens rea was ingrained notions of race discrimination, because none of the behavior of George Floyd that night warranted the behavior of that police officer, or any of them for that matter. So when you look at the situation, and I think everyone who sees it agrees, there was no explanation for that behavior except for ingrained notions of race discrimination. And that's it. And that's why our country is in such an uproar. And it's not just the African Americans that are upset, it's the white community that's upset, it's every human being on this planet that sees that behavior. There's no excuse for it. The mens rea is there, and we all know what that was.
All right, I'll read the final comment tonight from Craig. If he would have complied with the orders given, he probably would still be alive today. Even the other occupants in the van were telling him to shut up and do what he was told. And yes, I don't agree with him staying on George's neck that long. Everyone agrees with that. Jeffrey Wolf, Brian Watkins, Marie Napoli, fantastic job tonight. Thank you so much for your insight and being on the program. Please come back.